Your first look at high school football scores and highlights. This is First Down Friday Night with the WZDX Sports Team. Sponsored by Steak and Shake and Kennedy & Sons Structural Solutions.
We had another great night of high school football across the Tennessee Valley, and WZDX is the first to bring you that action on another episode on First Down Friday Night. I'm Charity Chambers, and filling in for Mo Carter is Kayla Carlisle.
Hello, good evening. Now, last night we saw a few teams fall for the first time while others remained unbeaten. One of those teams unbeaten is Westminster Christian.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of that action. The Wildcats are beating teams by an average of 28 points per game. Tonight, they hosted Clements. Here was the first drive of the game. Wildcats on offense, Ian Theus with a quick handoff to Jackson Billings. He hits the outside, and he is booking it. He's trying to find the end zone, but he will be brought down by Gregory Wells inside the 10. A couple of plays later, Theus with the ball. He calls his own number. Some great blocking by the Wildcats. He runs it into the end zone, making it look easy. Extra point would be good. Westminster up 7-0. Next drive, Clements with the ball. And I can't tell if it was a bad snap or if Gregory Walls just had butterfingers. I think it was butterfingers because even on the ground, he couldn't get a hold of it. Matthew Mantooth for the Wildcats recover. That would go on and set them up for this. Theus with a quick pass to his main man, Billings again. This time he stretches his way into the end zone. Wildcats go for two and making it look too easy, putting them up to an early 15-0 lead. Scored at that game 60-14. Westminster comes on top of Clemens. Next week, Westminster hosts Randolph. Clemens hosts West Limestone. And over now to Milton Frank Stadium, where Mae Jemison is taking on Muscle Shoals. Let's start things off in the second quarter. Jags already down 13-0. Damon Eason trying to find a man, but is tipped and caught by the Trojans. Malik Smith, turnover Jaguars. So the Trojans on offense now. Jacob Bishop under center. He launches one to Ty Smith. Watch this. He hauls it in for the score, putting up 6 on the board. The extra point. Muscle Shoals going for 2. Bishop, what is he going to do? Once again, he finds Smith, this time for 2, putting the Trojans up to a commanding 21-0 lead. Mae Jemison, though, going to give it another try. Eason hands it off to Closarius Tanner, but he fumbles the ball, recovered by the Trojans. If you give it to him that easy, you know what's going to happen next. It's time for my favorite play of the night, Kayla. You'll see why in a second. Bishop throws it up to none other than Ty Smith. Oh. Kayla, I should have known it was going up to him.
Out.
Yes. Let's look at this again. I almost got ran over by him. Nevertheless, I have to give myself a little kudo. I
mean, MVP of the week next week?
Maybe so, you know? I stayed with the play. Let's take a look. Final score of that game. Muscle Shoals wins big, 46-12. They travel to Florence. Next week, Mae Jemison goes on to take Paul Bryant on the road.
Let's go ahead and go across to the river now to Austin. After dropping their season opener, the Black Bears have won 3 straight games. Their week 4 opponent Grissom started off strong with 2 wins, but have lost back-to-back games. Black Bears looking to take down the Tigers, but first their honorary captain helping out with the coin toss. His name is Cole. He was an Austin alum. He was in a car accident not too long ago, but he's looking good right now, ready to see Austin do their thing, and they did that. First quarter, Tigers QB Caleb Peak takes the snap. He decides to launch one downfield to Jerwan Thomas, who makes the 25-yard catch, but he doesn't stop there. He glides by Tarek Sykes and takes it to the house. First score of the game. And they could go up 7, but the Tigers go for that extra point, and it's just no good. They still lead 6-0. Black Bears with the ball now. We're a little far away, but that's going to be just okay because watch this. Colin Hubbard is going to hand it off to Tylen Williams, who skates right past the Tigers defense. No problem at all. He makes it all the way to the end zone. The Black Bears looking to take the lead. They go for the extra point. Now Hector Godinez kicks it up, and it's good for the Black Bears. They take the lead in the first quarter, 7-6. And Austin would end up defeating Grissom, but not by much. The final score of that game was 21-13. And now both teams will have a break next week, but then both get back into action in 2 weeks with Austin hosting Sparkman and Grissom taking on Bob Jones. Staying in that 7A region now, Bob Jones is still in search of their first region win. They hosted winless Gadsden City. We pick it up the action at the beginning of the second quarter, and it's Caden Rose with a handoff to Khalil Griffin. He runs forward a few yards, and it's good. Next play, it goes all wrong though. Bad snap, ball goes over Rose's hands, and Terrence Peebles recovers it off the ground, and he is off to the races. Our Zoom lens can barely keep up as he takes it to more than 80 yards to put the first points on the board for the Titans. Bob Jones gets it back. This time Rose thrown to Cameron Pugh for a small gain. Check that out. After an incomplete pass, that does it for the Patriots, and just like that, the Titans get the ball back. After the snap, it's time for a huge takedown in the backfield. Towels going, flying the air, and down goes the Titans QB, DeMarcus Macon with the big loss. trying to make it up, and this time it's a bullet to Carton Mitchell, but it's not enough for the Patriots. They get the ball back. Again, the big duo of Rose and Griffin again. Solid ball movement down the field. Next play, and Griffin jukes his way past a couple of tackles, but it's not enough for points, and the teams went into the halftime with the Titans still up 7-0. Your final score on that one ends up being 12-7. Bob Jones wins. Bob Jones goes on the road next week now to Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa.
Don't forget that the WZDX Sports team is on social media. Follow us on Twitter at Mo Carter and Kayla Carlisle, Kayla WZDX, and myself, Jersey Chambers WZDX. Send us a tweet. We actually might read it on the air. Now, coming up on First Down Friday night, we've got our Spirit of the Week segment, and we'll see if Lee, Madison Academy, and Sparkman could pick up some road victories. Stay with us. Welcome back to First Down Friday night. It's time for our Spirit of the Week segment, which is brought to you by the great people at Steak and Shake.
I mean, Charity, they brought us fries. We have burgers. We already ate them. We've got sodas. But tell us, who's this week's Spirit of the Week, Charity? Well,
actually, this week's Spirit of the Week, we're going to show some love to the mascots. Bucky, who is the Buckhorn High mascot, decides to show off its moves with the dance team. Recently, look at him go. And we must say, Bucky has some moves. Watch Bucky get down to the grooves. And Salt Shaker by the Yin Yang Twins, and Get Low by Lil Jon. A standing ovation was given following that performance, so shout out to Bucky, the mascot, for being our Spirit of the Week. Kayla, I gotta ask you, do you think you could get down like Bucky?
Oh, Charity, don't do this to me. You're gonna embarrass me on live television. I can't get down like that, no.
Okay, I won't make you do it.
All right, well, moving back to football now, the Lee Generals were taken down by Hazel Green last week. Tonight, they traveled across the river to Decatur to face the Red Raiders. Decatur is playing without quarterback Trent Duper, who broke his wrist just last week. But let's see if that affected the Red Raiders as they try to stop the Generals. Jumping straight into the second quarter, Decatur is up 14-6. Cameron Morrison taking the snap and calling his own number. He makes a dive for the pylon, looking like he's going down a slip and slide. But the refs, they say it's good. The Red Raiders going up for the extra point, and it's, what do you know? It's good. They go up 21-6 now. Decatur takes control of the ball again. Morrison hands it off, but we decide we're going to build the suspense. Did he make it in the end zone? Well, he did. Kenny Cannon takes it to the end zone. The Red Raiders go up once again, except they missed the extra point, 27-6. But now the Generals are ready to retaliate. Noah Watkins hands it off to Christopher Reed. He shows the Red Raiders who's boss, and he takes it all the way to that end zone. Now they're going to go for the two-point conversion, this time, but Watkins goes for the pass to Kamari Artis, but Tyler Troop says, not today, guys. They fail to get the extra points, but they still go on the board, 27-12. Now the final score of that game actually ended up being 48-18 Decatur. Decatur is going to go to Lawrence County next week, while Lee gets the week off. Now Madison Academy is next on the board, taking on Ardmore. They're 7-0 in the first quarter. Senior Chase Love runs it to the right side for a nice gain, which sets Ardmore up for this, a 45-yard field goal. He kicks it up, and boy, is it good. That's impressive, Charity.
That is, for high school, it really is.
Later in the second quarter, now Madison Academy's Luke Nail sets up for the deep pass, but it's just off the fingertips of his receiver. Get that pass incomplete, but it's not going to stop them. On to the next play now. Daniel Brent has a nice run of his own up the right sideline. That'll be a first down for the Mustangs. 2 plays later, it's Nail to Minor this time for the 55-yard touchdown pass. Minor takes it all the way home, and the crowd was definitely feeling the momentum on that one. Check them out right there, having a good time. Late in the second, now it's Nail to Knamer for the 12-yard gain, which sets up Nail to Evan Brooks for the touchdown, giving Madison Academy the 21-3 lead going into the half. Now the final score of that game was 42-10 Madison Academy, and both teams again have a bye next week.
Now over to our own backyard. The undefeated Sparkman Senators are taking on Huntsville High. The Senators narrowly edged out Grissom last Friday, 17-13. The Panthers, well, they lost 62-19 against James Clemens, so maybe a little redemption for them today. Well, let's go ahead and see. We're going to start things off with kickoff. Huntsville kicking off the ball. A nice kick. They kicked it off to Senators Del Pettis. Oh no, he didn't catch it. It bounces off his leg. Panthers are right on top of it. Huntsville with the ball in the red zone. That would result in a touchdown. Extra point is up, and it is good. We're going to go on over now to the third quarter. It's a close game. Panthers up by 1, 21-20, and Jackson Glover is on fire. He sends one flying to Drew Purden, and what do you know? That is a touchdown. Panthers go up 28-20. Fourth quarter now, same score. Senators are in scoring position. Hunter Martin under center. He hands it off, and look at him go. He fights his way into the end zone for 6. What a close matchup, like I was saying, but the final score would end up being Huntsville taking the win, 35-26. This came down to the very end. Huntsville will take on Columbia at Milton Frank Stadium, and Sparkman will take on Buckhorn next week.
All right, guys, coming up next, we'll introduce you to our 2 First Down Friday night co-MVPs of the week. Last week, they combined for 15 touchdowns. We've got their stories and highlights from their games next on First Down Friday night.
Now, back to the action on First Down Friday night.
Welcome back. A lot of points were scored last week by a pair of local teams. I'm saying a lot of points, Kayla.
A lot of points. Hazel Green scored 78 and North Jackson scored 75, and a pair of big wins.
Yeah, majority of those points were scored by 2 guys who ran away with our MVP of the Week awards. Check it out.
It was a big win for us. Both teams were undefeated in the region, a team that our school had never beaten. So it was a great night for Hazel Green.
Under first-year Hazel Green head coach Smitty Grider, the Trojans beat Lee 78-35. The most points ever scored by the Trojans and the most Lee has ever allowed.
We knew this kind of game could happen at any time. Certainly didn't expect to score 78 points.
The key factor in the Trojans' win was junior quarterback Chase Starling. He had a total of 234 yards and 8 touchdowns, which is tied for the second most in Alabama high school football history.
I couldn't have done it without my teammates. My O-line certainly helped me out, and of course my receivers. I mean, I don't get those touchdown passes if they're not over there catching them. So they helped me out a lot. It wasn't all just on me.
While the Trojans were rolling to victory here in Huntsville, 30 miles down the road, the North Jackson Chiefs were putting up basketball-like numbers as well. The Chiefs cruised to a 75-41 victory over DAR.
We'd like to score every time we get the ball, and we've been explosive offensively, and our line's doing a great job. We have multiple guys running the ball well, and we're playing great defense so they can get us the ball back.
North Jackson rolled up 468 yards of total offense, and senior running back Lee Witherspoon rushed for 332 of those, which set a school record for most yards in a single game. He also had 7 total touchdowns on the night.
Lee's extremely fast, so when he gets a step, it's pretty much over. He's explosive. He's a great kid. He's got a great attitude. He works hard. He's a leader for us.
First, I want to thank my O-line because they opened up the hole. They make my job a lot easier. I don't think all you got to do is just run the ball. That's it.
Though Lee and Chase are writing their own separate stories, one thing they have in common is that their names will forever be etched in their school record books.
Touchdown, North Jackson.
Chase Starling and Lee Witherspoon are this week's First Down Friday night MVPs.
So a big congrats to our co-MVPs of the week.
Yeah, and if you think you know an athlete that is deserving of our First Down MVP award, just send us an email at news@rocketcitynow.com with the player's name, school, position, and you guys, you gotta send us the stats from their last game. The winner will be announced every Wednesday night on WZDX at 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Both Witherspoon and Starling's team were in action tonight.
And first we're gonna go ahead and go up to 2:31 to check Hazel Green taking on Athens.
Yeah. Well, we're going to kick things off in the first quarter. Hazel Green has the ball. Chase Starling passes to Deontay Beauchamp for a nice gain. Looks like a Hazel Green first down. Things were looking okay for the Trojans, but then they fumbled the ball. Athens' Logan Smothers take advantage of the opportunity and takes it to the end zone. Score now 6-0. Hazel Green back with the ball, but guess what? They dropped the ball again.
Oh, no.
Coach not looking too happy about that. Still in the first, Athens Smothers throws to Ethan Wright for another Golden Eagles touchdown. They go up 13-0. In the second, Athens has the ball again. This time, Smother is going to call his own number, and he's going to take it all the way in for another Golden Eagles touchdown. Not sure if the highlights were matching up there. Let's go ahead and take a look at that final score. Athens would actually end up on top of Hazel Green, 37-3, big win. Athens goes on to East Limestone next week. Hazel Green take on Gardendale.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take it to the North Jackson versus St. John Paul, the second game where Witherspoon and the Chiefs were on the road. And it's a battle of undefeated teams. Like we were saying earlier, the winner of tonight's game would be tied for first place in the region, making this the biggest game for St. John Paul ever. North Jackson takes the ball first, and right off of the bat, the dynamic duo of QB Tanner Woodall and Lee Witherspoon are on fire as they move the ball to a first down. A couple plays later, and Witherspoon moves the ball to within inches of the goal line. Check it out. They're doing some plays right there. One more play is all that they're going to need, and it's Witherspoon into the end zone for 6 points. That's going to bring out the kicking team, who adds one more, and this sets the tone for the Chiefs as they go up 7-0, and the band played on. First possession for the Falcons now, and they're going to grab a few yards on the kickoff return. Let's see how this goes. Seth Brown has some time and airs it out to DeJuan Sledge for a nice pickup. Check him out. Sledge again on the next play as he goes to the sidelines for a few yards, but that was sort of it for the highlights for St. John Paul II. They just couldn't bring the power they said they had so far this season, and they go down by a score of 49-7. North Jackson's going to take on Scottsboro next week, while St. John Paul II takes the week off.
Kayla, on paper, these looked like this was going to be a pretty good matchup.
It's definitely not what anybody was expecting.
No, it's not. You have two undefeated teams. I was even kind of saying earlier in the week that I thought it was going to be a pretty good game, a close matchup, but...
I mean, you would think so, but I guess things happen.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up another edition of First Down Friday Night with a trip to Albertville. We'll be right back.
Hungry and you still want something to eat, head over to our friends at Jimmy John's.
That's right. Matt Kreitzer and his crew are staying open very late to fill your sub needs and charity. He's filling our needs every Sunday on Sports Extra.
Yes, he is. I actually am going to be sitting down with him this Sunday. We're talking obviously football and his picks for the upcoming season, so should be pretty good, interesting.
Yeah, so make sure you tune into that on Sunday at 10 o'clock.
Exactly. Now back to the gridiron. Albertville taking on Coleman, and we're just going to get right to the highlights. Score tied at 0 in the final seconds of the first quarter. 3rd and 8 for the Bearcats. Max Doolin rolls to his right. He finds Noah Bushman. He jukes a guy, cuts across the field. He's trying to find the outside. He would eventually be brought down inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. Doolin. He's going to throw it up to Jalen Sulins. And watch this. He's just going to walk it right into the end zone.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Extra point would be good. Coleman strikes first, 7-0. Let's take a look at that final score. Coleman would go on to win, shutting them out 21-0.
Wow.
Next week, Albertville travels to Boaz.
Nice. Well, speaking of Boaz, they took on
Pisgah, yes.
Excuse me. They took them on 35-14, though. Took them down, and Falkville ended up beating R.A. Hubbard 19-6.
James Clemens won 47-33 over Florence, and East Limestone took home the win over Scottsboro 28-13.
And then Randolph took on Danville. They won 41-6, while Asbury beat they lost 0-55. You can't get that one wrong.
Can't get that one wrong. Brewer won big over Madison County 34-33. Excuse me.
I know. What are we doing with our numbers tonight?
I don't know what's going on.
We're all over the place.
Yes. That does it for another edition of First Down Friday Night. Charity Chambers here alongside Kayla Carlisle. Join us next time. We'll be right back. Well, no, we won't. That's the end of the show.
You've been watching First Down Friday Night, sponsored by Steak and Shake and Kennedy & Sons Structural Solutions.